And just like that, we are back. Another episode, and I will say, Lifetime, please. What are we doing? It's episode 6. Let's get to the damn show. Let's. What are we doing? We've never done this before. You're making me look bad. All right, my bad. Let me get off my soapbox. Let me get off my milk crate.
You look bad. You look bad when you told me, "Hey, I have an idea. We should watch Married at First Sight." That's when you start looking bad. So you've been looking bad a long time. But yes, Lifetime is totally dragging us out. I'm like, where's the drama? What's going on?
Oh, Jesus, this is so bad. Hey, all right, let's get to the particulars first. Welcome to the show. I'm Yanni Rude.
I'm just Terrell. You ever been out somewhere and overheard two people having crazy conversations?
Well, we are those people, and we've been having these conversations since college.
Yep, we are the Regular Guys Random Thoughts Podcast, Married at First Sight Recap Edition. I hate this show.
Episode 6, and to understand why we're here, because obviously you can tell from Terrell, if you're a new time viewer, understand that he does not like reality TV, and as always said, he wouldn't watch The Bachelor until they had a black bachelor. And you wonder why I'm talking about The Bachelor? Here's why. Because Bachelor said, hold my beer, enter Matt James, and so he was stuck watching The Bachelor. Me being the great friend that I am, I of course said, hey, you know what? I'll watch that crappy show with you. So, in return, him being the good friend that he is, he decided to watch one of my favorite shows, Married at First Sight, and here we are. And unfortunately, Lifetime has decided to drag the shit out of this. I saw this on Twitter so much tonight, man. It's like 6 episodes, and we're still on the honeymoon. Can they please get back to the house? We used to be on the house by the 3rd episode.
You would know better than I would, because this is my first time ever watching this. And the first episode was 3 damn hours. And so every episode since has been 2 hours. So this is 2 hours of my life that I'm just not getting back every time we watch this. So I hate you for this. But this is ridiculous.
Now, here's the thing. I don't sympathize with you for that because you made me watch The Bachelor, right? But I will say this. I do sympathize with you because I am happy that I'm no longer on the market. Because I had no idea hygiene was something you'd have to discuss on a date. I mean, we've discussed this on a regular podcast just on celebrities, but Jesus Christ, regular folks are not taking showers?
Okay, that blew my mind because I'll be honest. As a person lives alone, single, not married, no kids, no one's here. So if I decide to just spend my work day and not shower, that's on me. But I would never tell people I did that. I wouldn't share that with the world. That would be my Facebook status update that 2 days no shower, don't care, whatever. I wouldn't do any of that.
YOLO.
Yeah. Living my best life. I wouldn't put anything out there. So I just find that weird that she said that. But I understand exactly where she's coming from.
Well, let's start right there with one of our favorite couples, I think. I think that they're going to make it after, at least I did until today's episode. Bao and Johnny. One of the things that on YouTube, Kristen said, she asked us the question, anybody can sin if Bao is a virgin? And we found out Bao is absolutely no virgin. And then TW also asked, why do you, Terrell, assume these women have all been having sex early with random dudes? And I'm still siding with you on this because Bao would have been the one person I said was not having random sex. And then she, took a sip when it was time for that never have I ever had a one-night stand.
Hey, Bao's about that life. We just don't know it.
No, you didn't know it. I told you.
No,
I told you Bao's a freak. Once he hits the button, it's on.
I still don't agree with that. I don't think that Bao's a freak. Bao's a great woman. She's smart and all these other things. The more you learn about Bao, it's like, as a single guy, I can be like, I get it. I get why you're single. You have this. You have this issue. She can't let the whole snoring thing go. I mean, that's what you do. It's natural bodily function. Get over it. Get some therapy and move on.
How loud is the snoring? That's what we really need to find out. They need to go ahead and
my
reveal
stepdad snores loud as shit. I knew that ever since my parents got married. He snores loud as hell. But it's just one of those things. And so you find a way to deal with it. But the way she's handling the whole deal, it's just weird to me. But when you think that she was a freak before, we're assuming that she was with somebody that was, as I like to say, Johnny-esque. We don't know that because we know Johnny likes some things.
Conan O'Brien is a celebrity crush. That tells you all you need to know about Bao. Bao's a freak. I'm gonna tell you straight up, okay?
When she was talking about previous relationships and like sex was like the first thing, and then the emotions came later.
The look on Johnny's face was like,
so Johnny's like, okay, but that goes back to my point last week that she's holding back from somebody who has done the ultimate commitment that no other partner of hers has ever done.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. I mean, at least a rub and tug. Mom, I know you watched. Sorry, but I'm just saying.
Honey, what's a rub and tug?
Does that go away once you get married? Because like when you're dating, rub and tugs is kind of at least once a month.
Let's make a clip just of you asking that question. I will say this though, I felt Johnny in that moment when she said that about, well, in previous relationships it's been all about the physical and not about the mental, and so now I really want to focus on the mental. And Johnny was like, why the hell now? And you know what? I understood that because I remember in a past relationship where there were certain things you're like, yo, what's up? And you're like, well, no. Have you always given everybody the 90-day rule? No. Well, why are you choosing it now? And like we talked about this last week. If he's going to leave, if you think he's going to leave after the first day, trust me, he's going to leave after the 91st day. Making somebody wait 90 days doesn't mean that they're waiting at the same time. And not saying, and speaking from personal experience on that part of it. But
I wouldn't know. I've never done that. So thoughts and prayers to you, sir, that you survived. But with Bao and Johnny, I agree with you 100%. And I've been saying this repeatedly that there's certain needs that Johnny needs met for him to be connected, and Bao is struggling with those things. I kind of get how the experts put these people together. After today's episode, I started seeing some things. I'm like, I get what y'all were hoping would happen, but it's not.
This will balance that out.
Yeah, but exactly. But I don't think that, and I will continue to say this, that Bao will not be able to give Johnny that love language that he's like thirsting for. She's not gonna be able to do that.
I'm gonna tell you something. The one love language that Johnny's thirsting for right now is a goddamn shower. Okay, don't you walk up in this house talking about I'm so tired. I'm just gonna go sleep on the couch. Our guests come over and they sit on that goddamn couch. You get your funky ass off our couch. You go sleep on the floor with the dogs if you go do that shit. Okay.
But that just shows how just different and interesting Bao is, because you have, I like to collect bathing suits that I never wear. Oh, and by the way, showers, meh, depends. There's all these weird things about her. I'm like, who would tell somebody I don't shower? That was weird that she said that.
It really was. It really threw me and obviously a lot of people on Twitter off as well too. There were some other comments that were made. I'm gonna leave those alone. But I will say it was good to see them. She was the only woman that jumped in the water and actually got on a paddleboard. And I thought that was pretty dope. And I'll tell you why that struck a chord with me. It made me go, this is obviously before the shower conversation, but I said, oh, they're really going to make it. Because my wife and I, when we went on vacation, and our first vacation together, our first real vacation together, and we went out to a park and started doing different things. Like, I have a fear of heights. But you know what? We both jumped off the cliff. And she was like, yeah, I would have never done that. And it was just one of those things that I'm like, there's no way I let you jump off the cliff, and I'm going to stand up here like some little punk and not jump off the cliff too. So
I ain't no bitch.
I jumped off halfway down. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
But you did it together.
No. Yes, we did it together. And that I thought was a moment for them. And I was like, that's so dope that she jumped in when all the other wives were like, nah, we're going to sit here on the boat.
Yeah. I would agree with you. And I saw a lot of that with a lot of the couples, and I think of Jose and Rachel, the whole bike riding deal. I was like, that's what it's about. That's great. I thought that was that was great for both of them. That she was open to taking that little push that Jose was not gonna give up, and then the fact that Jose was patient enough to say, "Hey, I get it," and every time you see him in front, he would stop, be looking back. I thought that was really great, personally.
Yeah, so looking at him, with her on the bike ride, and even like, hey, I'll park my bike. You want me to push you along? And I mean, now some people may look at that as a little controlling, but I say no. That was him just saying, I'll make sure you don't fall because I don't want you to fall, right? So he's there trying to help her out, and he was very patient with her. She's like, are you getting upset with me? No. And you could tell that was coming from a genuine place. It's like excited that she would even do it because she said she didn't know how to ride a bike, and then she did it, so that's cool. And I like the fact that he had that. And then, of course, he goes on to drop his credit score and said that he wanted somebody on his level. And I was just like, Jesus.
Why? Okay, 8:15. That's awesome. But why would you say that on national television?
Just in case this wife doesn't work out and the next spouse, and I'm going to be very careful and say spouse is the one that's there for him, because one of the things I did notice in this episode with Jose and Rachel, he's the reason they haven't had sex yet. He is the reason. If you think about this, in the very beginning, when they were getting ready to go on the honeymoon, he threw the condoms in the suitcase, right?
Right.
She grabbed them and threw them out and said, nah, that's not how you make babies. Which I went, that's a little bit forward. Y'all haven't even discussed babies yet, but you're ready to talk about you want to have, no. We need to test drive this car a little bit first and make sure everything's good, right? Now, here they are all this time. They're doing this superficial pecking, and it's not even kissing. It's just pecking in front of everybody, and everybody thinks that they're doing it, and they go, yeah, we haven't. And she now says, like, hey, if this is a couple months down and we haven't done it, or the sex isn't good, she's just like, really, you can see she's the one fishing for, like, why haven't we done it? Because I was, when she first brought it up, I was going to say, well, why did you, when you took the condoms out of the suitcase, not just say that we don't need the condoms because we're not having sex on our honeymoon, and not for the other reason that she said. Yeah. Until I realized he's the one, and he's the reason they haven't had sex.
Okay. Interesting point. I kind of agree with Gil. Gil was saying that they're both saying they haven't had sex yet or consummated the marriage. He's like, I don't buy that. And I agree. I feel like maybe they have. I do. I feel like maybe they have, but they both have such high regard for their parents. And so, their parents are watching the show and all that. I feel like they might already have.
Now that wouldn't be a first, because there have been couples before who acted like they couldn't get along and they were humping it up in private, right? Or couples that said oh no, we're not doing it, but then they did it. And I remember there was one of the earlier couples that did it because it's a lot of tension, and then it came out in a counseling session when the girl was like, yeah, but when we have sex, and they were like, wait a minute, I thought y'all said y'all didn't. So you could be right, and maybe they are. And if that's the case, the producers and the experts will find out, because I'm sure they've got the whole house mic'd up.
Well, I'm sure. Again, we're just setting up the drama, because there was so much tease to drama this week, and I think Bao Johnny, I still feel set on where I've been saying about them. Jose and Rachel, jury's still out, but I think they've slept together already. Mm-hmm. But what about Brett and Ryan?
That's another couple that, first of all, Ryan has got to be thinking, Jesus Christ. And actually, I thought it, then he said it. She hates flying. She hates everything about the water. Is there anything she's not afraid of? But I will say, to her credit, and to his, she got in the water. Mm-hmm. Now, he did try to kind of push it. Hey, just look down at the manatee. And I get that, because it's like, all right, look, it's not going to bother you. But when somebody has that kind of fear, right? And I don't know if is it that she can't swim. I don't know what it is. Or maybe she can. Who knows? And that's why it was fine. I don't know why she took those sandals into the canoe with her, because they did kayak with her, because if you flip over, them joints are gone. You need some rubber flip flops or something. But I thought they had a good moment in that water too, because even racing back to shore and all of that, I thought they also had a good moment.
I agree with that 100%. I think they did. I was quite surprised how patient Ryan was, or at least perceived to be, because I agree
Serial killers usually are patient, though. But go ahead.
Well, yeah, he did say if you don't make it. He did tell her that if you don't make it back. But I've gone kayaking with people before, and I'll be honest, I do not like tandem kayaking with anybody. If we're going to kayak, you have yours, I have mine. But if you have yours, I need you to be confident that you can either A, paddle, B, swim if you fall out. So I was really impressed with this whole date because I thought it was going to be a worse shit show than what it was. I was expecting to be a whole lot more drama. You know, there's a whole lot of things she's not used to, not comfortable with. I don't like walking in high grass because I'm in Texas and I have a fear of snakes. And so I worry if I see a field and they're like, just cut through the field. I'm like, nope, I'll take the long way around. I'll go around because there's snakes living over there somewhere. I have a fear of snakes. So I get where Brett's coming from, but I thought it was a good date for both of them.
Yeah, indeed. And then, I will say, even their conversation later on, and I didn't see any drama in that. You can see they're setting it up because obviously he's Republican, she's Democrat, and of course, I love the hashtag MAFS, man, because everybody's asking on the timeline, hey, where was Ryan on January 6th?
He was trying to stop the steal. Let him alone.
So interesting with those two, man. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens with them. I don't see them making it just because he is a serial killer and he's not really attracted to it, but he's like, hey, I'm here for 3 months. I might as well knock it out the box.
I agree. I don't see that working out at all. For all the different reasons we've talked about in previous episodes, but especially Brett is pretty hardcore about her political beliefs. And I believe that's going to be the deal breaker. Because Ryan, where he's at, in the industry he's been in, that's who he is. The odds on him being in oil and gas for that many years to say, you know what? I do think this Green New Deal could be something. I don't see him doing it. So,
of course not.
Yeah. So it's not going to work out.
Speaking of not working out, the poster children of not working out, Gil and Myrla, even though I will say, near the end of the episode, they had a glimpse of her showing that she had a heart, getting him the 14 pounds of chocolate chip cookies. But then, why would you pick up the cookie and put it to your face? The biggest cookie. Now I can't eat that.
So here's what I think that the producers did. Because every episode, they've made Myrla look like shit. Like, she's just the worst. And when you look at social media, on Twitter, they were making her look bad. Yeah. I feel like this was the episode they made her look nice.
Yes.
She did something that was different, that she knew that Gil wanted. That's kind of against what she does. She's still such an annoying diva in so many ways. I can't believe how you thought she would be my type. When we first started this.
I think you misunderstood what I said when I said your type. I said she's bougie like you. I said they would have matched you together. They would have matched you with her, and the fireworks would have been... Me, knowing you, knew that those fireworks would be amazing. He's so patient, and you are not. So that, therefore, that shit would have started on the honeymoon. It might have started the night of the wedding. So this would have made for great TV. And if the producers ever get a hold of this, make sure you go ahead and snatch Terrell up and put him on it, because it would be amazing. Him and Myrla would have been an amazing shit show to watch on TV.
It would have been drama. It would have been drama.
That's the point. What did we say was missing so far?
Yeah, I know. I'd have been cussing in Spanish first as soon as we went. I've been dropping some stuff that I learned living in Texas years. Like, you heard what I said.
Because she doesn't understand the word compromise, and those school administrators that she's a consultant for, they need to teach her the word, how to pronounce it, and the meaning of it. Because obviously she has no idea what it means, and manners too. Because her behavior at the group dinner was a little much. Just talking down to Gil and cutting them off all the time, which is ridiculous.
Well, I think that she thinks she's better than all of them.
Of course.
So it's not about talking down to Gil. It's talking to all of them. She just feels like she's at a higher class, and I don't know where that comes from, right? And I find that in minorities that grew up poor, but hustled and at an early age, because they're in their 30s. We're in our 40s. They're in their 30s, but they've reached a financial status where they feel like they can look down on people. In my 30s, I wasn't at a financial place where I thought anybody was less than me, and I never cared. I was like, I need to hustle, do the things I need to do to get to where I want to be. And I did those things. But she's just on this level where I think that she feels from a status standpoint, if you're beneath her, then no matter what you do for a living, you're beneath her. And so that's just the ugly thing that I don't like about her.
Unless you have a trust fund, because she was like, are you a trust fund?
Well, but I mean, Gil has to understand that you can't compete with that. You know, when she asked about how many days a week did you work, and he said 2. So remember, we had somebody comment that said firefighters work overtime and all that. Gil's not doing that.
Well, it's 48. That's 24-hour shifts, so that's 48 hours. So it's
totally get it.
8 hours of overtime. Yeah.
Totally get it, but you still have 5 days off. Where that's the hard part for Myrla, because Myrla's a hustler. I got 5 extra days. I'm gonna do 5 extra days worth of more shit to make more money, so I can travel and go somewhere. True. So I don't know. I again, we all know that's not going to go anywhere. I don't think anybody, I don't think any viewer thinks that there's hope for Gil and Myrla. If they do, please comment and let's talk about it.
Well, I think one of the things that people are going to talk about a lot more too as well, and I saw this everybody started turning on Gil, because he said, if this aligns with my professional, I'm going to vote this way. And it's like, I've seen people calling him all kind of names, and somebody said that he's probably one of those, I am not black, I'm Colombian people. And I'm like, look, here's the thing. I hate when we try to box everybody up and go that, if you're black, you got to be Democrat. If you're, no. You vote how you vote. Now, why you vote the way you vote, it's as long as you have your reasoning for it, it's not just based on this or that. And I think people are forgetting that politics just became a lot more racial and racist. It's always been racist, but even more so in the forefront, as opposed to voting for policies and now just voting based on social issues more recently. And I think that's where we're getting into this part of it. Because I may not agree with you if you're Republican. It doesn't mean that I think you're the worst, you're the scum of the earth. Now, if some of your thought processes put you in that, then there's that reason, but not just because you are a Democrat or Republican. Because me, I'm neither. I don't vote one way down the line. You don't vote one way down the line. Because I'm not a gang member. I don't go in and just vote for the gang. I vote for the person, not the party.
Yeah.
So I agree with Gil.
I agree with Gil, too. And what they were talking about in that conversation, to me, is it's a common conversation that we've all probably been a part of. Mm-hmm. You're going to have friends that you have different political beliefs with, but can you still stay friends? And I think that's where the problem is, or that's the challenge in society right now, is if you don't believe all of this that I believe, then you're wrong. And it's like, actually, no, if you really have conversations with hardcore people to the right and hardcore people to the left, when you really dig down to it, they all want the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just how it's communicated and how it's packaged and sold. And so I agree with Gil 100%. I think there are people that will not date anybody that doesn't match their political viewpoint. When I was on the dating apps, you would see that all the time. Someone said, if you voted for Biden, you need to swipe left. We're not going to have anything in common. I'm like, what if y'all do have things in common? It's just you just happen to vote for 2 different people. That's possible, but that's how it is in the dating world. So I think Gil's 100% correct. Now with
another reason I'm happy to be
Myrla, I don't know what Myrla's viewpoints are, to be honest.
Well, Myrla, I think everybody's assuming that she is, and maybe she has said it before, and I just missed it because I start tooting out whenever she talks now. Maybe she has said that she's more liberal leaning, but she definitely has because she spends a lot. But then again, so that doesn't mean that people on the right don't spend a lot. She does have the snobbish ways that some of the people have seen on the right. So I mean, it is confusing, right? Because you think him being the firefighter maybe was more. So anyway, either way, whichever the way they go. Politics, at the end of the day, you just can't be just because you're this color, you're that color, that makes it, it's a no-go. Because you never know. You may disagree on one issue or vote for this person because of this one issue as opposed to this one. So, who knows? I did like, though, when Gil asked the question, how did you become you?
How did all this shit start? That's what he was saying. How did all this ugly shit about you start? And then he was thinking that there was
the kind, caring person that I am.
Yeah. He was thinking that there was like an incident that happened.
Yeah.
And then as she starts talking, he's like, "Oh, so you've always been this way."
Yeah. His shade is so, because you can tell right now he is done.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't even, like, I think he's just trolling her when he's like, no, you got the chocolate chip cookies, you got the bubbly. Oh, this is like foreplay. Just to watch her get uncomfortable. I think, because he is right now going, I'm stuck in this for 3 months. I'm going to have some fucking fun. And you can tell that because as the previews come up and he's like, yeah, well, I'm kissing the dog because I can't get any kisses from you. I get it. And I know why he's doing it because it's just like, all right, this is what we're doing. This is what y'all put me up with. I'm going to have some fun with this. And I'm just going to work her damn nerves. I'm going to make her quit.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think Gil's done, but he is having fun with it. It's not making him look bad. Really, a lot of what he does when he's joking, it just makes her look worse. So I think that's funny. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen from that because, of course, some drama's going to come out of something that's come out of Gil's mouth at some point. They're going to be like, hey, Myrla, let me show you this little clip from last week. Gil's talking shit. Like, what's going to happen. And so,
of course.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see that, but I think kudos for Gil. I really think at the end of this, Gil's going to wind up getting some type of spinoff or something that he's got to find what he's looking for. But Myrla is just, it's hard to even talk about her every week because I don't like to hate somebody. I don't like to say anything bad about people I don't know, but everything that, and it's not her fault because the editors are portraying all this stuff, but still, they make her look like such a bad person. I'm just like, ugh, you're terrible.
Before we get to Zach and Michaela, though, wasn't there a rumor you heard from a quote-unquote trusted source, we won't reveal our sources here, that Gil actually does get some affection on the show?
No. So that's not quite what I heard, but I don't know if we should have a spoiler. Should we? Should I?
We can say, look, right now it's just a rumor.
Okay, rumor has it, this is what I heard from a trusted source.
Because think about how great you would be if this trusted source becomes really trusted and accurate. Yeah. They become the National Enquirer in the John Edwards scandal.
So here's what I heard from a source, trusted source, that there is going to be a sex scandal in this series, and that sex scandal is going to involve, wait for it, Brett and a person of color, but don't know which one.
Okay, so that puts, well, if you're a person of color, that literally puts every other couple in there. Because
I'm sorry. A person of African American descent.
Okay, so that does put Gil in the mix. Well, you say African American, or is it of black descent? Which one is it?
Okay,
because there's a difference.
Black descent.
Okay, because Gil is Colombian. He's not African American. Which is it's always funny to see reporters mess that up when they're talking like they had the riots in France and they're like, and the African Americans are like they're black actually, they're African but they're definitely not African American. They're in France. But okay, so it could be Gil or it could be Zach, which would actually kind of tie right in as we get to Zach and Michaela, and we know the drama that's coming up with them. But before we get to the drama that we can foresee. Why is it that Zach is calling another man laying in the bed shirtless? I just want to understand.
Yes. First of all, I agree. I agree. I'm like, if you ever FaceTime me without a shirt on, my first question is, have you already called 911? Because apparently there's an emergency. But if you're just laying there nah, man, I'm just chilling. Just want to call CJ up to without a shirt on.
If you're listening on the podcast, you're missing why he's laughing. But I'm just doing my Zach right now. I still have my shirt on. I just want you to let's get that clear. I got my shirt on, but I'm doing the Zach right now.
Yeah, you better be in an emergency, and there better be paramedics on the way. There's no reason I would ever FaceTime any person. Let me just say that any of my male friends.
Yeah.
Just shirt off. I'm just trying to recover from COVID. The nipples and everything. I'm like, what are you doing? Why would you do that?
First of all, I will say this, and I've noticed that the next generation has gotten into just FaceTiming for like guys will FaceTime guys and have conversations, and I'm like, I don't need to see your face. I see your face on this just because we're actually doing video on this, right? But I can talk to you on the phone, and cool. But it's not gonna make it any better if I'm talking. Yeah, we ain't got to FaceTime. So you don't have to worry about me FaceTiming you like that in the first place. And definitely not shirtless. That's not happening.
We should do that as the next random thought on episode 51. Mm-hmm. Because I agree with you. Like, don't ever FaceTime me, male or female, unless there's a reason we need to FaceTime. But I've never had a guy friend.
FaceTime call from a woman, never.
I've never had a guy friend FaceTime me. I've had girls FaceTime me. And... You know, those calls are a little bit more fun, a little bit more interactive, if you know what I'm saying. But if you just FaceTime me shirtless, laying in bed, like, hey, what's up, T? Just want to see how you doing. I'd be like, why are we doing this? Are you okay? Is there a ransom? No? I got to go.
I left something on. Including my clothes. It looks like Zach and Michaela got fireworks on the way. I'm waiting for them to get to this. I've seen people asking, like, why did she leave? You asked this last week, why did she leave? People on social were even asking, like, hey, why did she leave? Because if I'm her, I would have stayed there, enjoyed the rest of the honeymoon, and just checked on them occasionally.
Yes. I have no idea. So they are right, because there's something sketchy about that. There's a reason why they had to leave. There's some kind of drama they're building to of why she left. It is not just...
I'm telling you why she left.
Why?
Would you rather stay here or you go? I'll go back because I'm not going to be able to get any nookie while he's sick and quarantined. So I'm going to go back to Old Faithful real quick and we'll start this marriage over when he gets back to Houston.
Hey, big head, I'm back in Houston.
Oh, my God. Hopefully this next week it's got 2 hours and it means they've got to get to some kind of drama. It's
going to be 2 hours of them leaving the honeymoon, going back to Houston. That's all it's going to be. 2 hours of that. Watch.
2 hours of them moving into the place. We don't stop dragging this shit out. I mean, let's get through it a little faster because Lifetime, you're going to start losing people on this. I mean, here we are. We're 13 hours into this season and we haven't even left Florida yet. First of all, we're getting ready to check out the hotel. This is ridiculous. There's not enough drama. We had drama on the honeymoon last time. We had fights with the damn couples and the producers. We need some of that back. Let's get that. Let's get that back. All right, wrap this up. Let's go because Terrell's not. We don't want to lose him too quick.
You lost me already.
Next week we do it again. Don't forget Monday we drop our regular episode audio wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Google, Spotify, Odyssey. Then we drop the video on Tuesdays on YouTube. And then, of course, Wednesday we'll be right back here, audio and video, as we recap episode 7, Married at First Sight. Terrell's excited because this is what we do. As friends, we do things together. We ride together. We die together.
I hate you.
Bad boys for life. It's not I hate you. It's bad boys for life. Come on. Get it right.
I'll work on it. I'll work on it, but this show is just painful. You're going to have to find, after this is over, you're going to have to find something better in the reality world that
I've got a bunch of these.
Oh, I'm sure that you do. I'm sure that you do.
Well, matter of fact, we'll take suggestions at the end of this season. We'll take suggestions as to what we should watch next and do reviews on. All right, so we'll do that. Make sure you follow us at Yanni Rude, at Justel, and at RGRT Pod.
It's the Regular Guys Random Thoughts Podcast, Married at First Sight recap episode. Keep joining us. This is painful. I need all the help I can get.